Hey, what's happening, everybody? This is the Fly Nubian Money, where we help you to master your mindset and maximize your money. Y'all, welcome in today. We got a topic that's I think is important for all of us. We're going to talk about the $30 billion fashion industry, okay? But $60 from a Black brand, it feels like too much. That crazy? So a Black brand recently called out the fact that people are quick to spend hundreds on name brand items, but hesitate when it comes to $60 products from a Black-owned businesses. They offer quality, hire Black talent, give back, and still the support is not the same. And here's the kicker. Black Americans spend over $30 billion on clothes, on shoes. So now it's not that we don't have the money, it's where we choose to spend it. So we got the dopest, amazing ladies on the panel today. First up, we gonna round it up with Miss Dr. Charm. She could deliver your baby. She's a doctor. She is a comedian. She could tell you a joke. She is a psychic. Did I say she was a psychic medium? I did say. She could tell you future. And she is a real estate professional. She could sell you a house. So this is the lady who is the queen of all things. What's up, Dr. Charm?
Hola, mi amor, ¿cómo estás?
Bien, ¿y tú?
Bien. Selling houses, okay, we selling houses.
We're selling houses in these streets in Atlanta, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then we have the SEW, Dr. Sabrina. She is an author, an educator, and an investor. Hey, Dr. Sabrina.
Hello.
Yes. Then we have the wealth architect, Miss Katrice. She is insurance. She's an insurance expert, and she is a paralegal, and she can architect your wealth. Ladies,
Hello.
Hi. So listen, let's first start the conversation and ask about labels. Are you guys into brands? We'll start with you, Sabrina. Are you into brands?
No, ma'am.
No,
ma'am.
Dr. Oh, go ahead. Just real quick. Let me just go.
That's not my thing.
That's not your thing. Dr. Charm, you?
Slightly, but not really. Like, I can't see myself spending a mortgage payment on a bag or anything. So yeah, I'll do a guest purse. You know, I've upgraded because it used to be all off brand, but now I've upgraded to guest, and it better be on sale at Ross, and it better be under $50.
Oh, okay.
On principle.
Okay, on GP. Okay. What about you, Miss Katrice?
If it look good, I don't care what the label is.
Okay, so you're not really worried about label.
Mm-mm.
Okay, all right. Me neither. I mean, my ex, he was a shopper, so he would buy me like different types of bags and stuff like that. And he would shop at certain places. Now she is Fashion Nova for me, sis. So that's where I'm hanging out, and it looks cute. Like if your body look good, then you good. So
I love Fashion Nova.
Yeah, Fashion Nova. That's it for me. So for you guys in the audience, are you guys label people? I don't want to call you a label whore, but are you guys into labels? Is that important to you? Because fashion is like $30 billion. Black people spend $30 billion on fashion. The problem is we think that buying from let's look at the video. Let's look at the video and let's discuss.
So I know a lot of people are going to be upset with what I have to say, but I've gotten this far by always authentically sharing where I stand on things, so I'm going to continue to do so. I saw the new Polo Ralph Lauren, Oak Bluffs, Martha's Vineyard HBCU collection, and it's a beautiful collection, by the way. I believe there is a Morehouse alum that is the creative director over there now, so I want to say, man, you're doing an incredible job. Love what you're doing. But what I didn't see as I was scrolling through the press release posts was a single comment from a Black person about the price. And that's where I have a problem. We just launched a 100% cotton collection utilizing a 100% Black-owned supply chain where we're paying Black farmers above market prices for their cotton and their labor so that we can financially support them in a meaningful way. Since that launch, we have received hundreds, if not thousands, of messages, emails, DMs from Black people telling us that we're too expensive and they're not paying $60 for a t-shirt. This t-shirt in the Polo Ralph Lauren collection costs $128 for this t-shirt. And I haven't seen not a single comment complaining about how expensive this shirt is. So I'm wrecking my brain trying to figure out, how are we a 4-year-old black-owned brand with a track record of giving back to the black community, paying for black kids to learn how to code, donating to Black Mamas Matter to fight the abysmal black maternal mortality rate where black women are dying at 3 times the rate of anybody else in this country, paying for black men to get access to mental health services. We hire black talent, and yet we constantly receive nonstop criticism about our prices. Ralph Lauren pledged $2 million to 12 HBCU schools over a 5-year period. Now, when you do the math and you divide that $2 million by 12 schools, it comes out to around $166,000. You divide that over a 5-year span, it's around $33,000 a year to these schools. Ralph Lauren does $7 billion a year in annual revenue. Actively Black donated $500,000 off of $5 million in revenue. That's 10% of our revenue that we donated back to the black community. And yet every single day, somebody is telling me that we are too expensive. I'm not anti.
So what is it about us that makes it so important? I mean, do black people have a problem in spending $60 on a t-shirt? What's your honest reaction when somebody is charging that, Dr. Charm? When somebody's charging $60 on a t-shirt?
I'm not paying $60 for a t-shirt, and that's just me. The most I probably go is $35 to $40. Here's the thing. I understand his frustration as a business owner, but the way he's going about it, shaming the community, is not going to do it. We black people are the #1 supporters of black-owned businesses. Over 60% of black Americans feel that we should support black businesses, and we do support them. That black-owned businesses are our preference, and black-owned businesses have been growing at a rate of 30% per year since 2012, the largest growth rate of any race. So we do support black businesses. The problem is that for him, everybody knows who Polo is. Ralph Lauren is a name brand. People know it. They're going to spend the money. He has years and years, decades and decades of brand recognition. This man is a new kid on the block. If I were he, I would invest my money into some of these Instagram influencers, celebrities, and really get his name out there in a positive way. I mean, look at Telfar. Telfar sent bags to Beyonce. Beyonce's rocking Telfar costumes during her show. Telfar is reasonably priced. Those bags are anywhere from $60 to $200, and black people support Telfar en masse. So he needs to take a different approach, because I didn't like the shaming. I'm not paying $60 for a shirt. I'm just not.
Yeah. What about you, Katrice? You paying $60 for a shirt?
Depends on the shirt. I'm not a label person, but I look at quality. And if it is a good quality, then yeah, I will pay it. But that's just me.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Miss Dr. Sabrina?
Probably not. But okay. So you say the method that he used to get his point out was probably not the best. But then I have to wonder, when do we have this conversation? Because it is a conversation that really needs to be had. I don't know. I didn't take it from looking at the video that he was so much shaming black people for not supporting him, as it is questioning why you don't question the price that Ralph Lauren charges for his products, even if you are going to support them, even if they are an established business. But yet with my business, there's a question. Whether you choose to support me or not, why question the prices if you're the person that are willing to spend $60 or more for a shirt?
Yeah. Well, do you think, Dr. Sabrina, that we're conditioned to think that black businesses should charge less?
I don't know. It's interesting, but what I often wonder is, do other people have this conversation? Like, do Asians have this same conversation about prices? Like, do they wonder why their people are supporting other people rather than them? Or
Right.
does the Jewish community have this conversation about why their people are supporting others other than them?
I will say how the Jewish community think. Now, the Asian community is a little bit different because they are label whores like a mother. Like they will mix and max some labels to the hilt. The Jewish community, though, they do have these conversations. They do have conversations about spending with their own first. They're very intentional about how they spend their money and whom they spend their money with. They teach that we don't go outside our community unless we go inside of our community first, which I believe that we should be doing as Black people. We need to take a page out of their book and do the same thing. But I mean, I think that's a good question is, but here's the thing though. Here's the thing, Dr. Sabrina. We make everything cool. Asians don't. Jews don't. So we're the trendsetters. So as the trendsetters, we really have the power to control how people are spending their money if we were intentional about how we spend our money. Right.
Absolutely.
I think that's my opinion. But for you, Katrice, are we conditioned to think Black businesses should charge less?
In somewhat ways, I do believe so. Yeah, I do think so. I do think that we feel like, we should get discounts or you should do things for me for free just because, we skin folk, we kin folk.
About that.
And I don't, I personally don't do that, but I do think we are conditioned to think that because if you look at it, we don't go into Walmart, we don't go into Target, we don't go into nobody's grocery store and saying, can you give me a little bit of a discount? No, we go in there, we pay whatever they say the price is, unless you got some coupons, you use your coupons, but other than that, you're going to pay what the price is. So why is it that when you come into my establishment, you would expect me to give you a discount just because we skin folk? No, it don't work like that. That's not how it works,
Yeah, yeah. All right. So I do want to ask you guys, and you guys can answer this after the break. Are there any Black-owned brands that you actively support, and which ones and why? So I want you guys to answer that after the break. And so we're going to break.
It's a good show right here. But I'm biased. If you are just tuning in, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. My name is Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I'm the proud producer of this show because it is lit. If you want to receive notifications for when we go live Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All you have to do is text the word Queens to 87948. That's Queens to 87948. That's QUEENS to 87948. Also, if you want to grow your money and not blow your money, all you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. There's all kinds of resources, there's courses, there's free giveaways. There's just no reason to be broke in 2025. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. Obviously, you don't want to be entertained here. You want to know enough to grow. Wait, I need to put that on a shirt. You got to know to grow. Got to know to grow. So know and grow with flynubianmoney.com.
So ladies, do you guys have any Black-owned brands that you support and why? Dr. Sabrina, start with you. Any that stand out?
Not really brands because I'm not really a brand person, but I will say in terms of businesses themselves, I am an advocate for supporting Black businesses. And I do try to find Black businesses here in my area to support. Now, I'm in Mississippi, so we are limited somewhat in the area.
Mississippi?
I'm in the Jackson metro area.
Okay.
Jackson, Mississippi. So go ahead.
Do you work with the college? Because my son don't have his housing. I need to talk to somebody about that.
Where is he? Jackson State or Tougaloo?
Jackson State. I got to take him out there tomorrow.
Okay. No, I don't work at the university anymore. I've been there, done that. But we are somewhat limited here, but we do try to support the ones that are here. I do travel between here and Houston. Of course, we don't have that issue when we're in Houston, Texas. Any direction you want to turn in, you got Black businesses to support. But as far as just brands, because I'm not really just a brand person, the answer to that question is no. Okay. I don't have one that I just actively support.
Okay. What about you, Miss Katrice? Do you have any Black brands that you support?
No, I don't. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a brand person either. But before I get a service or anything, I'm gonna look and see if I can find a qualified Black person that can do it, I'm going to put my money with them first. And then if not, then I go outside of the community.
Okay. What about you, Miss Dr. Charm?
Oh, I'm Black business down, especially when I was living in Chicago, because Cook County, which is where Chicago is located, has the more Black-owned businesses than any county in America. And so I was always supporting Black businesses. Here in Atlanta, it's mostly like restaurants I choose to patronize. I mean, I'm buying something every week. As a psychic and spiritual healer, the spiritual shops that I support The Conjure. I mean, Lala Ahari has a $25 million empire with conjure supplies, and most of her clientele is Black people. She's been on Forbes magazine on the cover of Essence. Memphis Conjure supported them for my spiritual supplies, and so I love supporting Black-owned business. When I bought my house, the person I bought the house from, she's a real estate investor, owns 50 properties. She hooked me up with her mortgage lender, Black person. My home inspector was a Black person. I'm selling my house in Chicago right now. My current realtor is a Black person. And so who else? Oh, my lawn guy is Black. My attorney is Black. So I try to support Black-owned businesses anywhere I can. And like the doctor said, we try to find somebody who's qualified that's Black to handle that when we look for our services and goods. And my doctors, thank you. My doctors are all Black too.
Clock it. Judy, I like this comment from Judy because this is so true. It's been our recent history that we must pay 4 times more for merchandise when supporting our own. Caucasians pay a much lower price while supporting their own. This is horrible while we are the last for employment and make the least pay. This country supports the uneven scale, so how can we make this even a more scale to enjoy the merchandise designed by our own folks? Here's the problem. There's what we have called as a Black tax. So what happens is the Black businesses, they have to pay more for the merchandise. So if you have, say you have a Black store that sells hair, they're not getting the same prices as their Asian counterparts. They got to pay more for it. And so then it comes out, they have to charge you more for it. So when we're looking at, comparatively speaking, we're not getting the products and the services because we're just getting in, and automatically, due to whatever, and more than likely it's racism, we're not getting the same deals. And so we have to pass it on to our consumers, our buyers, which are likely Black. And then they, now they're looking at the Black businesses saying, y'all charge more than everybody else. Why y'all trying to pocket the money? And the reality is we're getting charged. The business owners are getting charged more for the products and the services that they have to then sell. And it's a sad thing. But if we become a force, if Black businesses become a force, maybe we have to eat down a little bit on, our margins so that we can offer a better deal, so that we could get more business, so that we can buy from those distributors, so that we can cut down on the prices. So it may have to, we might have to take a hit as Black businesses, if we can in some way, so that we can, we can get the people in. That's a strategy that I think some Black people need to employ, instead of just, trying to get those margins to be what they are. Because for us, sometimes we can't benchmark ourselves, or we can't compare ourselves to other businesses because it's just not our reality. That's the unfortunate thing. Let's go to our next video though.
I freaking literally just saw the ad for that. Apparently there's like this Black owned pancake batter or something that's here on the TikTok or the TikTok shop or whatever. Like, as soon as I saw that they were marketing themselves as Black owned, I immediately scrolled. Anytime I see anything that is marketed as Black owned, I will not buy your service. I will not buy your product. I will not even pay you any attention. Because to me, what you're doing by marketing your business as Black owned instead of marketing the actual business and service itself is saying that your product is mediocre, whatever it is. It's telling me that the product is not worth purchasing or not worth buying. And I'll tell you one thing from me being an entrepreneur myself, what I've learned is if you lead with, oh, my prices are cheap, oh, my prices are really low, oh, my prices are XYZ, a lot of the times that means that what you're offering is not worth buying. And that's just my 2 cents. I just won't do it. And also another thing, while I'm on the topic, I am rooting for everybody Black. However, I'm going to root for the elite Black people first. If you don't deserve for me to root for you, I'm not going to root for you. I'm not rooting for you just because you're Black. Okay, you have to have something of value. You have to have something to offer. Nobody ever rooted for me just because I was Black. Everything that I've ever gotten, any success that I have ever gotten has been because of my skill and my talent. It has never been because the Black community was rooting for me because I was Black. And I follow that logic still today.
If you don't get this self-hating ass, coon ass, Mickey Mouse looking ass, fuck boy up off the screen, talking
he got a red shirt
ass
on.
shit.
He got a red shirt on, but there's an invisible red hat.
That part.
This little coon. Ain't nobody listening. I hope he didn't go viral. I hope he didn't have a lot of views. And I hope they ate his ass up in the comments because that was some dumbass shit. But that's my opinion. Anybody agree with this silly ass shit?
Again, I have to ask this question. Every time I hear a Black person say that, I'm not just supporting you just because you are Black. I just look at the nonsense that's going on at the political level right now. And people support stuff just because. Right. And I have to wonder, why is that the first thing that always comes out of our mouth? Right. Just because you're Black, I'm not going to vote for you. Just because you're this, just because you're that. I'm here in Mississippi, and I know I'm surrounded by a whole lot of illiterate white folks, and they don't care that I'm probably more qualified than most folks that they know. It does not matter. If I ran for something, they're gonna support the white person that is far less qualified, and this is just what it is. Yeah. I'm just saying. That's my opinion. But
I think a lot of it has to do with mindset. Like, and people keep saying, "Oh, you gotta stop talking about slavery. You gotta stop talking about slavery." And I'm not talking about slavery in the sense of it like now it's keeping us back per se, but that slave mindset of, if it's white is right, or, Massa got it, let me go run support Massa or whatever Massa doing. But, if my brother over here doing the same thing and it's better, we still not going to support you because, we got to make sure that, we support Massa. Like, it's a whole mindset. And like this comment says, why is he making Black synonymous with mediocrity? Like, me saying that I'm a Black owned business is not me trying to get just garner Black people to support me. It's me being proud of being a Black owned business, point blank, period. Like, and so the fact that you won't support me just because I'm proud of being a Black owned business, like, that don't even make no sense. That don't even make that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever.
Dr. Charm?
This individual is clearly suffering from internalized racism. And so, I want to knock at the door and see if there's anything inside. But at the end of the day, saying you're not going to support a business just because they identify themselves as Black owned is tone deaf, because we do, as you stated before, we have to pay more for goods and services, especially in the hair industry, because the Koreans have basically locked us out of that. They only trade with one another. And everything else, there's a price. And Black owned businesses employ mostly Black people. So when you say it's a Black owned business, like, you can infer that they're most likely employing somebody Black. And so I'm going to support Black owned business. Of course, they need to be quality. I mean, my landscaper from last year, now he called me in May asking me for my business. And then when I called him to do my lawn this week, he's like nowhere to be found. So I'm like, and I texted him, I was like, you called me asking me for my business and you know where to be found. But guess what? Somebody else stuck a flyer in my mailbox and I picked up the phone. He sounded like a brother man. He coming on Friday. Okay. So I'm gonna give him a chance. So we have to be cognizant of certain things, but we do need to demand excellence of one another. I'm not gonna not say it.
100%. I mean, listen, when it comes to my landscaping and my housekeeping, Black people not allowed. I'm just kidding. But I will say this. I'm just kidding. It was just jokes. But I will say this. I used to, like, when I would speak at churches, I would say in church, how many of you guys have either said, I don't do business with Black people, or have you heard it? Because a lot of people have heard, oh, I don't do business with Black people. And so some people would raise their hands, and I say, take that same hand and smack yourself upside the head. Because that's the most dumbest shit. I didn't say shit at church, but that's the most dumbest thing I've ever heard. That's the most self-hating ass thing I've ever heard, is you saying, I don't do business with Black people. You have one negative experience with one Black person, and then you decide not to do business with them. I just put a business on blast yesterday, and I never do that. It was a Black-owned business. I spent $3,500. The name of their company is called Panda Commission. If they get you to sign up to do your website, don't do it. They charged me $3,500. They didn't do everything that they said it was going to do. It was bad. And I put them on blast. I mean, I just did. And I never do it, but I gave them an opportunity before I put them on blast to make it right. And that's what I say that we do. Will I use Black businesses? I always use Black businesses to do my business. The person who did my website before was Black, and I would have went to her. They had a cold ass presentation. The presentation was great. The service and the business model was terrible, and I ended up paying for it. And so I gave them an opportunity to make it right. That's what I'll try to do. If I have a bad experience, I'm going to give them constructive feedback. Okay. If they take it, I'll do business with them again. If they don't, I'm not going to. In this case, I lost money. So I had to go ahead and let everybody know, if you hear from this company, don't do it, because you're going to lose money. I just lost $3,500 for some BS. So I will do that. But they're always, I don't care if I do get a bad service from one business, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to do business with other Black people. And so we have to stop writing off our people because we've had one bad experience. That's what I will say. Okay. You know what, Dr. J, she said, we don't got to worry about MAGA. We're destroying ourselves. I heard somebody saying, damn, CIA don't even got to work no more. COINTELPRO don't even got to work no more, because we destroying our own selves. It's crazy. So anyway, let's look at the next video. Do we have another video? Oh, no, we got a commercial. Let's go ahead and go to run the commercial.
I know you're busy. You got things to do, and you can't take us on the go with you every single day. Good news for you. We are now on Spotify. So if you can't watch us, now you can listen to us on Spotify. Search Fly Nubian Money and all the episodes shall appear. All you have to do is like, subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, leave some comments, tell people how you love us, so that when other people come along and are looking for a great show to watch, they can find Fly Nubian Money too. One last thing, and just in case you've been sitting under a rock, Fly Nubian Money now has an investment club. We are the Fly Nubian Money Club. It's easy. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com, and I am committed to bringing in top experts from all industries to help you level up. They're teaching us the skills that we need to compete in this market. We often say that nobody is coming to save us, not the government, but guess what? We're coming to save us. I'm coming to save you with the Fly Nubian Money Club. So listen, all you have to do again is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com. We have a 30-day free trial set up just for you, just for those people that are struggling. Even if you ain't struggling, you ain't got to struggle. I'm coming. Okay, let me stop playing.
My issue with supporting a business just because it's Black, hit the button. If your business is ass, I shouldn't have to go and support you and be treated poorly or have to be subjected to wasting my money on a weak ass product. If your business is good, I'll support it regardless.
Absolutely.
We do that a lot to each other where we're like, come on, support me. I'm a Black man. Like Wallow said, but that's a hustle. Like, you just saying that shit to get my dollar, but you're not really treating me right. Now, I can't stand when I see somebody that has a business that's good and then Black folks come and see that they're Black and then be like, yo, hook me up.
Yeah.
I hate that. I don't do that.
Yeah, I don't think that's right.
But I'm not going to give you no money for no bullshit.
And I don't think that's what anybody's asking us to do. I really don't. I don't think people are saying you should support a Black business just because they're a Black business, even though they do bad business. There's a difference between having a business and a business. And so I think we should support Black businesses. And I think Black businesses need to learn how to become Black businesses and not just businesses. But what do you think about that, Dr. Charm? What he said about, I ain't supporting no businesses because they Black, which I agree. Let me ask you this. This, I think, was good. The psychological impact of having a Black inferiority complex is damning. Speak to that comment right there.
Well, I think, I just got into a TikTok debate because somebody posted a video of this African restaurant here in Atlanta, and they have a buffet, but it's a $55 buffet. And I said, and quite a few people were saying, we're not paying $55 for all you can eat buffet. For any restaurant, and so then there were people in the comments like, well, you all hate yourselves, you hate Black businesses, you don't want to, that's a good price. And I'm like, no, it's not. The Asian buffet over here in Atlanta, you go to the really, really nice one with the crab legs and stuff. I'm allergic, so I don't even eat that kind of stuff. But you can go, and it's like $35 probably tops, and there's several of them here. I can go to the Indian buffet, all you can eat, it'd be like $25. So why would I go? And I love African food, but why would I go and pay $55? And it wasn't even self-serve. They were serving it for you. So then they're limiting the portions. And just because I say I'm not going to support that business because their prices are too high for what I'm willing to pay comparatively, that doesn't mean I hate myself. And on the other hand, too, I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm not going over there to eat because it's Black, because most Black people eat Black food. That's, we raised on Black food, whether it's African, Caribbean, or Black American food.
Right. That's true. So what do you think about that comment, Katrice, about the psychological impact of the inferiority complex that Black people have?
I think some people do have that complex, but not everybody. Because just because I decided that I don't want to pay, like Dr. Charm said, just because I don't want to pay $55 to go to your buffet, it don't mean that other people won't pay that. You know what I'm saying? So it's not always about I don't want to support Black businesses. It could just be that I don't want to pay that price. Now, I'm not going to try to shame you or tell you you need to change your prices. No, you keep your prices where you keep your prices because that's your business. However, also get to choose whether or not I want to pay that much or not. So it's like it goes both ways. It's not just a one-sided thing.
Armando said it might be that the Africans are charged more for the food, so we are charged more as customers. I remember me and my family came down here DT to visit me, and they have different countries all over. Like you have your Senegalese, you have your Nigerians, you have your Ethiopians, you have just all. So we went to, I forget which one it was. We went to one of them restaurants, and we walked up in there, and they, first of all, there was dishes everywhere on all the things, and then we sat down and we looked at the menu, and we were like, "Well, how much is the stuff?" Was asking. He was like, "Let me see." Like he was just making up prices as he went along. I was like, "Okay, this is our cue to exit stage left. You just go make up a price on the spot." It looked like a family had came and ate up everything, and it was just dishes all over it. And they was like, "Let's get this up." Y'all sit down. Okay, we don't even know what the price are. They was like, So,
and some of those businesses, I hate to say it, there is division. They'll see that you're Black American and they'll charge you more for the food or treat you differently.
Partner, you got to have some prices on the menu before I'm gonna spend some money up in this camp. And that's exactly what I thought. Y'all see some Black folks, y'all think y'all just gonna charge us anything. Nah, we good. So, but for you, Miss Dr. Sabrina, I want to call you Miss, but Dr. Sabrina, do you think that we subconsciously associate luxury or quality with whiteness or mainstream brands? Because that's part of the psychological brainwashing that I think has been implanted in us, that we do. But I don't know. What are your thoughts about why Black people have this idea about, Black-owned brands?
Yes, I think some of us do. I'm not going to say that that's, I'm not going to make a general statement, and say that all of us think that way. But clearly there are some people that think if it's white, it's better. If it's Black, go back to the comment that the young man made in the video. If he sees anything that's marketed as Black owned, that tells him immediately that it is an inferior product. And where does that thinking come from? Somewhere, some way that was planted in our minds that we are substandard, subservient to others. And I still wonder why we think that way as opposed to other people, how they view. Because one of the things I noticed, here in Mississippi, I'm in the dirty. We love to eat down here.
I'll be out there next week.
Yeah, we love it.
Let's
connect while you're here.
Yeah.
We love to eat here. So, I'm accustomed to going to restaurants and different types of restaurants. But what I have never seen, now you ladies and, our audiences in other places, I've never seen anybody other than a person that looks like me and a Caucasian in a soul food restaurant.
Really?
I've never seen that.
That's
not here. I've never seen that. So, that goes back to that conversation. If the others are supporting their own, when is that planted? Obviously, somebody plants that in their minds. You say the Jews have that conversation. We support our own before we go outside of the community. Then I think that's a conversation. That's something that we're going to have to work toward planting in our community as well. And it's not so much just about that price point. To Katrice's point, if I'm not going to spend $55, I'm just not going to spend $55. I'm not spending it with you because you're Black. I just don't spend that much money on a meal. I could go to the grocery store and get some groceries and come home and prepare my food for the week. You know, I'm just not doing it. It's nothing against you, just what I don't do. You know, so
as for me in my house,
as for me in this house. So we have to look at why people are doing things and not just assume that they're not supporting us just because we're Black. The issue becomes, and I'll stop here. The issue becomes when we knowingly are going to spend, make a spending purchase, a purchase, and we choose to go outside of the community before we even look inside. That's where the problem lies.
That's the problem. And that's where that self-hatred comes in. Think about this. We had this favorite Chinese restaurant in San Jose. It was called King Egg Roll. They would have a line all the way out the door. You go up in that bathroom, it's nasty as shit. You go there, they not speaking to you, they not talking to you, they treating you like crap. But that line stays out the door. Now, you go to a soul food restaurant, the food could be amazing and great, but let the waitress have an attitude. You're going to be like, I'm not going back to this no more. We give other people the benefit of the doubt more so than we give ourselves. I go to Ebony's Hair. That's not owned by Ebony. It's owned by Ming Lee. I go up in that mug. First of all, they'll be in here. They'll be following. They won't speak to you. They'll follow you everywhere. And or this is what I experienced one time. I had a Black girl up in there as the face of Ebony. Black girl. So I'm walking around. It's just me there. All of a sudden, Black girl at the cash register gets a call. What is she doing? I'm hearing the conversation the Black girl's having with the owner. The owner's somewhere else watching me on the camera as I'm perusing the aisles. And they want to know what the hell I'm doing up in that store. So we give these people and we continue to patronize them. There was one, when I was in California, there was one, there was actually, it ended up being two, but there was an African hair supply, beauty supply store, and there was a bunch of Asian ones, and then there was a Black one, and they would refuse. There was before the Black one came, they would refuse. Black people refuse to do business with the Nigerian one, and they would rather. And I'm like, I'll pay that extra $2 for the hair, and I don't care if they're not from America, they're from the diaspora and they're Black, and I don't care, and I'm going to support them anyway before I support Ebony and they looking at me crazy and taking my dollars. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to support us first. So I'm always be Black first. But you're right about that. What was that? L. He said a lot of times, and that's what happened during the civil rights. We think that the white man's ice is colder. And that's the reason why we stopped doing business with one another, is because we believe that the white man's ice was colder. We got over there, we started eating that food at them restaurants, and we was like, we fought and got killed for this shit. Some nasty ass shit. But we did. And that's been ingrained in our minds. But we got to take that thought back. We got to start having those conversations with our kids, with our families, with our friends on these platforms, letting people know we got to be Black first, period. Unapologetically. I don't give a damn if you think I'm racist. I'm not racist. I can't be racist. That's a system, right? But I do have preferences, and my preference is Black first. I don't give a damn if you like it or not. Let's go to the next video.
I don't care who needs to hear this. I'm about to make a lot of people mad today, but I don't care. Y'all really be pissing me off. To the Black people, y'all have to stop doing this. And not all Black people do this, but it's some of y'all that do this, and it really irritates my soul. One thing about me, don't tell me I need to support your business because it's Black owned. I don't care. Just because it's Black owned is not going to make me support your business even faster. If a new business opens up in your city, town, state, whatever, don't be hating because it's not Black owned. Like telling people don't support the business because it's not Black owned. Y'all need to stop with that. Because you're going to mess up your blessing with your business. And the thing with me, one thing y'all not going to tell me who I can support, because I'm friends with everybody. White, Black, Asian, Native American, Hispanic, Middle Eastern. I probably missed some other people. But one thing about me, I've always been that girl that I was friends with every nationality and every race. And y'all not going to tell me who I can support, okay? That's giving y'all very jealous, intimidated. And if that was the case, y'all should have opened up y'all business like the person that y'all hating on. But y'all definitely need to stop getting into that mindset of saying don't support this business because it's not Black owned. Because some of y'all Black owned businesses don't be opening on time. Some of y'all Black businesses be having too many attitudes, and some of y'all Black businesses don't ever have nothing in stock.
First of all, shut the fuck up. And you probably should have went to a black-owned business to get them eyelashes done. Anyway, what do you think about that, Dr. Charm, what she had to say?
I see where she's going. She's tone deaf too. Not as much as our invisible red-hatted friend from the previous video, but she's tone deaf. But I get what she's saying about not supporting a business just because they're black if they're giving poor service. I gave my lawn guy example earlier. But trust and believe, these Middle Easterns, the Arabs and the Indians and the Asians, they are insular. They are supporting one another first. They're going to look and see whatever service and good they need, if someone in their community can do it first before they go outside of their community, because their dollar is circulating amongst their community and they're getting our dollar and their dollar too. So they're double dipping. So I'm not subscribing to that, but I do understand where she's coming from on getting, not going to a black business and getting stank service. For instance, I know we were talking about this before the show, like August 1st, there was this boycott of African businesses. And people like, well, why would, for black people boycotting African-owned businesses? And the people will be like, why would somebody boycott an African-owned business? They're black people too. But we are having this conversation in the community about black people being in the diaspora, but having disdain for black American people. And I'll give y'all a point example. I cook African food, I eat African food, I cook and eat Caribbean food, and I'm at the African and Caribbean restaurants down there every week. So there's one that I patronize because I was, in my last job, I was flying out all the time, like every other week. And when I would get in, I'd stop by there on the way home and get some food. And they're always, the little girls working in the front, I know they're kind of younger. The owner, she seemed pretty nice, but the girls always just kind of very nonchalant, very not friendly, and I'm in there all the time. No recognition of, hey, you're a regular customer. So I went up there one time to pick up some food, and I pull into the strip mall. This is in the hood. And I smell some juices and berries. And I look and I say, oh my God, they got a black-owned juice bar in here. I walk in, it's some brothers from the nation because they had final calls, and they were so nice and so friendly. And they were like, here, Queen, hey, sister, you want to try? And I'm like, let me try this juice. I stuck my head in there to see that it was a juice bar. I ended up buying some juice and getting on the program and everything. I walk in to pick up my food from the African place, and it was just attitude, just not friendly. Not like I hate you, but it's like, oh, you don't even really count. And I made a decision that day. I was like, you know what? I'm really not messing with these people because look how these brothers treated me. And I had only been in there the one time. So this Friday happened to be August 1st for that boycott. I got a craving for some of the soup from that Ghanaian restaurant. And I picked up the phone. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to give them another chance. I picked up the phone. I said, y'all got any, any soup? Are y'all still open? It was 7:20. Oh, you have to come in to place an order. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going anywhere. I went in my Frigidaire. I got my smoked fish out. I got my okra and I got my tomatoes, and I made the soup myself, and it came out damn good. So we got to get good treatment from our own people, and people who we assume are our own people that don't look at us as their own people either.
Here's what I heard. If you go to a Caribbean restaurant and they not rude, turn around and go out the other way. Because it ain't Caribbean food. That's what I heard. I heard you walk up in that motherfucker and ain't nice.
No, it's where they slow. The slow ones are the ones that the food is going to be good and just a little bit, but not a major attitude. Because I go on Golden Crust. I posted one of them plates from Golden Crust. Baby, they had so much oxtails on that plate. No, I had some curry goat. They put that plate was $10. They looked like they had about $30 worth of curry goat on that plate.
Caribbean plate, and
I was eating good over there, and they treat me good every time I come in there. So we can go to the African Caribbean places that treat us good and get us some good food, because I'll be up in Golden Crust every week.
But I have a question. I want to jump in here on this. I want to go back to something you said earlier. We go into these places to purchase hair, right? And many of them are not owned by us. And a whole lot of us are walking around with somebody else's hair in our head, right? Who gets treated any worse in those places than we do? Like you say, we get followed. We get, I mean, they're watching us like a hawk when we're in there thinking we're going to take something. But how many people are having conversations, are on social media posting about that and not supporting them but yet we will talk about not supporting a Black business because of the attitude that we get at that Black business. So my question is, what's the difference? Is attitude a problem for you, but somebody basically, hawking you the whole time you up in a store spending your money, not a business, not a problem for you? I mean, what's the difference, Black people? It's treatment. I'm in the South. I'm in Mississippi. I was just in a meeting on Monday with some folks here that's still talking about taking down, removing a Confederate statue from downtown.
That's crazy.
So I'm just wondering, what are we doing here?
What are we really talking about here, huh?
I stopped patronizing a nail shop. It was a nail shop in Chicago that I used to go to that was, oh my God, it was walking distance. And I was in there damn near every other week to get my toes done. And they got an attitude. And I have been going there for at least 2 years. And I said, I'm not coming back in here no more. And guess what? I stopped coming back in there. Nobody's going to mistreat me. I don't care what you look like. You're not going to mistreat me and then take my money that I work hard for.
But that's a different conversation, though. The mistreatment. That's what I'm saying. It's as if we have tolerance for mistreatment from some people, but yet we don't have that same tolerance when it comes to other people.
But here's the
as
thing.
a collective.
That's just like what Dr. J said. Look at what Dr. J said. Would you rather go to a white restaurant that treats you good, but they in the back spitting your food and not hiring our people?
Right. As a collective, we demand respect from ourselves, but we don't demand respect from others. And I'm sorry, me personally, you gonna respect me, and I don't give a darn what your skin color is, because I'm not going to tolerate it, point blank, period. Right. So it's like that has become it, and it all goes back to a mindset thing. Like we just demand all this respect from each other, but Sally Jane down the road and Maylene just talk to you any kind of way, treat you any kind of way, and well, you know how them people is. The hell, they're gonna treat me the same way. Yes, it is.
Yes, that's the Willie Lynch. Let's look at these stats. $30 billion per Black spending on clothing. We spend $30 billion per year. Only 2 cents of every dollar spent by Black consumer goes to Black-owned businesses. 60% of Black business owners say lack of community support is a major challenge. 26% of Black consumers say they actively seek Black-owned brands when shopping online. Black businesses face higher rates of financial denial and less access to capital, forcing many to price higher just to survive. It's the Black tax. Over 50% of Black investors say they don't fully trust the financial system. So here's the thing, you guys. Here's the thing that I really need us to understand. So if we look at the wealth gap and how it's widening, and we see, back during the time of in the early 1900s, the dollar would stay in our communities for over a year before it left. A year. And you know what broke that up, right? You know what happened to us working together. You know what happened?
Integration.
Yes. What killed Black Wall Street and all these communities was integration. Because when we no longer had to work together, we no longer had to do business with each other, we stopped doing business with one another. That's a problem. And so now you have all these other communities that are doing business with one another. Jews, 20 days, Asians, 30 days, white, 17 days, Hispanic, 11 days. They're spending money with each other. And when you look at Black people, we spend 6 hours in our community. But here's the problem. You know why we only spend 6 hours in our community? You know why? Because there's no Black-owned businesses to spend with. Only 3% of businesses in Black communities belong to Black-owned businesses. Only 3%. You will go to a Black community, you will see an Asian business, a Hispanic business, an Arab business, a Jewish business, a white business. But if you go to an Arab community or a Jewish community or a Hispanic community or a white community, you will not see a Black-owned business. So we have to take our businesses back. We have to be so intentional about starting businesses and then doing business with one another. So we can't do business with each other if there's no businesses. So we talk about we ain't spending money with Black people. We have to have more businesses. We did have Black businesses, and they systematically destroyed them so that we didn't have to do business with one another. And that's where the problem was. But that's why we have to be so intentional about fighting and putting our businesses out there and then supporting them, practicing collective economics, being B1 Black first, so our businesses could thrive. That's what's important. Let's go to commercial and then we're going to do our final thoughts.
Are you a Black business owner looking to expand your reach? Well, has Fly Nubian Money got good news for you? We are building a Black business directory to connect you with customers who need your services. And here is the best part. It is absolutely free. Email us at info@realvirtual.net. Send us your business name. Tell us a little bit about what you do, what services you offer, your website address, and your contact information. That's it. Together, we are going to build and circulate the Black dollar. Get listed today and start connecting with people who are probably already looking for you.
So I want to ask you this as your final thought, Katrice. Gwen just talked about the circulation of the Black dollar. And here's my question. If we don't intentionally circulate our dollars within our community, who will? And what's our legacy? What legacy are we leaving for that next generation if we continue to overlook our own? I want you to speak to that. What legacy are we leaving?
We aren't leaving a legacy, and that's the problem. Everybody talks about legacy, but nobody's actively taking those steps to actually build a legacy. And, Black people, we have so much to offer. And the same services that you are going outside of the community to get, you can get those services within the community. And a lot of the times, you will get better service because, you know, if real Black business owners care about the community, we care about our people, and we want to make sure that they are, knowing the information that they need to know, and getting the things that they need to get. And so when you just decide that you're going to go see the white attorney over the Black attorney, or the white, real estate agent over the Black one, like, they just looking at the dollar. But most of the time, the Black person who you could get that service for is not just looking at the dollar. They're also looking at making sure that you are going to come out on top with the best. And so we have got to start training our children to circulate that money within the community first, before you just decide to run out and just find anybody to do that service. There's plenty of qualified people within the community. Stop going outside the community first.
Amen to that. Where can they find you, Miss Katrice?
They can find me on YouTube. I am Katrice, the Wealth Architect. And on that channel, I discuss all things mindset, insurance, and how to grow, protect, and secure your finances.
I love that. What you're saying is 100% right. And the reason why, listen, 2025, 2024, Black, these white institutions are still getting sued by the CFPB. They're getting fined by the CFPB for predatory lending. They don't give a damn about Black people. And you guys rather